All right, I'm live. What's going on, everybody? I am here. Let me just set up so this mic doesn't piss me off all day. Hello, everybody. Mathis, Becky, what's going on? How's everybody doing? My name is Nate, the lawyer. It's funny because I was getting complaints that, hey, Nate, you haven't done a live stream on your channel in a while. It's funny because I'm doing live streams on locals, but I said, oh, I'll do one live stream about this case because I thought it was fascinating, and there's a lot going around about the arrest warrant that I think a lot of people are missing. So I said, you know what, I'll take a half an hour and break down this arrest warrant for anybody who wants to know about it. Lucifer, Kim, Crafty, what's going on? The whole crew is here. It's nice to see everybody. Hey, everybody. So let's talk about what this stream's about. This stream is about the recent arrest. I can't speak now. The recent arrest warrant for Brian Laundrie. That's in the Gabby. I keep saying her name wrong, but it's Petito in the Gabby Petito case. And let me see. I thought I had a pretty decent thumbnail, but let me show you guys who I'm talking about. And I'm assuming everybody knows by now. If you don't know this case, then you haven't been watching. Hey, everybody. First live stream I've caught. Yeah. Petito. Yeah, it's P-E-P. I kept saying like petite because I know we have like petit larceny, so it's petito, but petito. I've been listening to it, but it's just like one of those, one of those words where you say it and it's like I know what it is, I know how to say it, but I just can't. My vocal cords won't say it. So, oh yeah, I'm doing one on the Hovind case too. He's going to be doing some time in jail. So, all right, so let me get to the Gabby Petito case, so you guys can find out what's going on. So I do want to say the FBI did some real sloppy work, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about when you see the case. The warrant, I think the background, but it's just the paperwork. You can see some real issues with the paperwork, and I don't think it's going to be a problem when they eventually arrest him because he has so much other stuff going on. But I think you guys are going to be shocked. So let me just start with what we're here for. Let's talk about arrest warrants, and I'm going to do this like if I was doing a class. Oops. Oh, something fell. So I'm going to do this like I was doing a class. Like, what is a warrant, right? A warrant is simply judicial authorization from a judge or a magistrate to allow police to do something. And in this piece, we're talking about an arrest warrant. So we're talking about a seizure, where we're allowing police to seize someone based on this judicial authorization. And to get this authorization, in the United States, we have the Fourth Amendment of the United States. Now, I was arguing with a friend of mine. His name is Uncivil Law. He has a channel, Uncivil Law, and we were arguing about this piece. I call the Fourth Amendment the Process Amendment. And what do I mean by that? It literally, if you read the Fourth Amendment, it lays out the process on how to get a search warrant. I'll pull it up right now. I should have had it already up for you guys. But it essentially lays out the process of how to get a warrant. And I'm going to put it up on screen now so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. It's funny because let me just go to Wikipedia, because now when I'm looking for the Fourth Amendment text, it is not coming up. Everything else is coming up, but then the text. So here we go. I'm going to blow this up and share my screen for everybody. If anybody has any questions, yeah, remember, you forgot this is the guy who was talking to about it. We were talking about the Fourth Amendment being a process, the process amendment, where it lays out the process for getting a warrant. Let me share my screen so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. The Fourth Amendment. Here we go. Fourth Amendment. Where are you at? Now it doesn't want to show. Okay. So this is the text of the Fourth Amendment. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched or the persons or things it should be to be seized. That's the full text of the Fourth Amendment. But now, even in this text, you can see there are one of the first things that you have to understand about the Fourth Amendment is that you're protected from unreasonable searches. So most of the times when you see police search like a vehicle or a home and they don't have a warrant, the issue would be, was that search reasonable? For instance, if I arrest you, is it reasonable for me to conduct a search incident to that arrest, right? I'm searching you because I've just arrested you. So that's something that would be a reasonable search. And that's where you'll find most of the that's where you'll find most of the warrant exceptions really deal with reasonableness. And the Supreme Court has made it sure that reasonableness is the touchstone of the Fourth Amendment. You're free from unreasonable searches, not free from reasonable searches. So that's the first part about it. So, and the second piece of it is that generally the courts presume that searches without a warrant are inherently unreasonable, right? If you don't have a warrant, then it's unreasonable and it's on the party who's conducting the search to show that it was a reasonable search. That's why police generally go for warrants, because you kind of skip that step where you don't have to prove that you are reasonable. You already go to a judge and say, here's the information I have. The judge determines you have probable cause, and then you can get a warrant, and then it's a different process. So remember, your protection is against unreasonable searches, not reasonable searches. And again, a lot of the Fourth Amendment doctrine and a lot of the case law will show you about that. So that's the one thing that the Fourth Amendment protects us on. Let me get back to this. So I'm going to also show you one thing. But also within this text, as I highlighted up, you can see the process in which we get the... Oh, I've lost it again. But you can see the text in which we get the Fourth Amendment, the process for the Fourth Amendment. First, if we want to issue a warrant, it has to be based on one, probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularized. That means, you have to say, exactly what you're going to search and exactly who you're going to see if you're going to see somebody. So these are they're known as warrant requirements. So we can now look at we can look at the arrest warrant that was issued in this case to see if they fulfilled these warrant requirements. So I'm hoping everybody's following me. There are requirements for the warrant that are listed out here in the Fourth Amendment. And now we're going to see if these warrant requirements were followed with the warrant that we have here in this particular case. So the first thing here is let's now look at first the warrant. And I have that here. So we're going to look at the warrant first, just to see what's on the warrant. What's the warrant? What's on the warrant, and what can we derive from it, and whether it fits in this paradigm that I've just set up for you. So let's first see: is this the warrant? Well, this is the indictment. So I'm going to go for the warrant. So I'm going to change this because it's the indictment the warrant is based off of. So I'm going to pull up the warrant. Let's look at the warrant itself. Share screen for the warrant. Sorry, I hit the wrong one. And we're looking at the warrant. This one. Okay. So here's the arrest warrant that was issued. So now, remember, I know this may be a little difficult, but we're going to have to remember the things that were necessary for this warrant. So in this arrest warrant, it has that it's issued by the U.S. District Court, so it's a federal warrant for the District of Wyoming. United States versus Brian Christopher Laundrie. This was issued on the 22nd. You are commanded to arrest and bring before the United States District Court Brian Christopher Laundrie, and he's accused through an indictment of violating this statute. Now, this is 18 U.S.C. 1029A1, unauthorized use of devices. And it's signed 922, city and state, and it's signed by this magistrate judge. Now, this is one of the more interesting pieces of when we're talking about arrest warrants, the first thing is that you need to have, it has to be approved by a neutral judge. So you have a neutral party. So that's the first thing that we've crossed. We know which judge and what this judge is basing this warrant off. This judge is basing this warrant off of superseding indictment. So now let's see whether the indictment lets us know if it's the probable cause, and the charges that this person's been indicted with. And you're going to see where the FBI made a big mistake on the warrant, but I'm not sure if it's going to matter in the end, because I think they can just here they'll just allow you to correct the clerical error, but we'll see. So we've now just looked at the warrant. And now we say, okay, signed by a judge what is the probable cause, because that's the second piece. So now let's look at the probable cause. So let's go to now, this is 524, 594. All right. So let's look at now the indictment to see exactly why this person, Brian, why the courts found probable cause. So here it is in the United States District Court of Wyoming. Let me blow this up so you guys can see it even better. Full screen. Here we go. And we have here count 1, 18 USC 2982, unauthorized use of the indictment from on or about August 30th through and including on or about September 1st, 2021, in the District of Wyoming and elsewhere. The defendant, Brian Christopher Laundrie, knowingly and with intent to defraud, used one or more unauthorized devices, namely a Capital One debit card ending in 8774 and a personal identification number for Capital One bank account ending in 0525 and 8665, and by such conduct obtained things of value aggregating to $1,000 or more during that period, which affected interstate commerce, in violation of, and they have a very specific statute, 18 USC 1029A2 C1 capital AI. And this is a true bill signed by the jury foreperson and by the U.S. attorney. So now we see exactly what the probable cause is for this arrest. So the probable cause is this person used this card, and they used this card in a way that allowed, they used this card, they're saying they weren't authorized to use this card and they used it fraudulently. Now, the interesting piece of it is that Brian using Gabby's card generally you wouldn't be a crime, but the probable cause here is that they're saying that his use of the card would lead a reasonable person to believe that a crime had been committed. Now, I was trying to figure out how could you get that, because this is her fiance, right? Her fiance, how would he not be authorized to use his card, right? What would be the probable cause in believing that he committed a crime in using the card? Well, here's a clip from the family's attorney and what they said, because it seems, and again, this is all speculation, but it seems that based on when they found her body and the fact that they got a call of date and time of death, and it seems like they're saying that he used the card after she died. So if that's true, then she couldn't have given him permission to use the card because she had already passed away. Let me show you the clip of what the family's saying and why I believe that's the reason why now you have probable cause, because probable cause in this particular case, which I should have defined for you earlier, probable cause for an arrest is when there's a reasonable basis to believe that a crime has been committed and that person who you're about to arrest committed that crime. So that's what we're saying. So is there a reasonable basis to believe that Brian committed this crime of unauthorized use of the bank stuff? So let me play this clip of the family's attorney, essentially explaining that they believe that he used her card and got her bank information after she had died. So I'm thinking that's why, and since she's dead, she couldn't give permission, and there's where you get the fraud and the taking of the money from this. So give me 1 second to screen share this part of it with you guys. Here we go. Boom. We get to watch a YouTube video on YouTube, which is great. All right, so here it is. I think I had it keyed up. Yeah. All right.
The Laundrie family's attorney saying
I have to do it so you guys can hear it, not just me. And let me share audio. Sorry, I didn't share the audio, so I have to do it again. Let me share audio. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
in a statement, it is my understanding that the arrest warrant for Brian Laundrie is related to activities occurring after the death saying dollars or more from a Wyoming ATM. The Laundrie family's attorney saying in a statement, "It is my understanding that the arrest warrant for Brian Laundrie is related to activities occurring after the death of Gabby Petito and not related to her actual demise." Laundrie's parents.
So this statement by the family, more or less, I think, lets us understand what's going on. So this is not related to her actual death, but this is related to what happened. This is related to this incident, and not actually. So this is not an arrest warrant for her death. This is an arrest warrant for this incident. So, I understand they want to probably get this guy behind bars because they think that he killed this poor woman. So that's what the arrest warrant is for. So just so everybody's clear, this is not arrest this guy for killing her. This is arrest this guy for doing this crime, which we believed happened because he did this. I hope I didn't confuse everybody. I got here late, so maybe you already talked about this. Why have they not indicted him for murder? Because I don't think they have enough information to say he murdered her, right? The cause of death, it could be an accident, it could be something else. He could have just left it and she could have died. So they don't have enough for that from what I'm seeing, but they do have enough for this. So let me show you something, because now I get to show you how crazy and ridiculous sometimes I get with these things. So as you guys see, I looked at the arrest warrant, I looked at the statements, I looked at everything from the FBI, and I noticed something that was kind of weird. And when I looked at it again, I said, oh shit, the FBI made this mistake. So they're now, he has an arrest warrant for unauthorized use of an ATM, of someone's ATM card. Let's just call it what it is, not for murder. And when they eventually get, I think, enough evidence to get the murder, they'll get him for the murder. So right now he's being arrested for unauthorized use of an ATM card. But now the devil is always in the details when you're talking about this stuff. So let's look at, so here's something I wanted to show you, which I think is interesting, but it shows you a couple of things, how sloppy sometimes government employees can be. But I wouldn't have expected this type of sloppiness in this particular case. But it happens all the time. So check this out. So now I'm going to show you guys. Remember when I showed you guys the arrest warrant? Here it is. I mean, the indictment. So first, let me show you guys the arrest warrant. Now, the charge on the arrest warrant here, look at it. It is 18 USC section 1029A1, unauthorized use of a dice. That's the one that was signed off. That's the one. This is the probable cause for this judge to issue this arrest warrant. So that's why this arrest warrant is issued, because of that. Let me blow it up on the screen so you guys can see it. But it's very important that you understand this arrest warrant is because they're saying that this indictment is for this offense, right? Offense is briefly described as boom. And this judge is saying Brian Laundrie is thought to have committed this particular crime for this particular offense signed by this judge. Are you guys all following me? We got a very specific crime. He's specific crime. This is why we're arresting him. This is why the judge has signed the arrest warrant. And this is all based off the indictment that we saw earlier. Let me pull up the indictment so you guys can see. So that particular charge, section 1, and here's the indictment, so we can all follow. Very confusing. Yes, I know. I'm trying to break it down in a very simple way, but it's you'll see it coming together right now. So here is the indictment. So remember, that's coming from this indictment. But if you look, this indictment that the FBI published has a totally different charge. This is 18 USC section 1029A2, right? And even if you look at the bottom, it's a different charge. So I'm thinking, well, hold on. How would they miss up the charge on the indictment from the charge on the arrest warrant? That doesn't make any sense. Now, so I put it together and I said, well, listen, it's anybody can make these mistakes, but would the FBI in such a well-known case actually put the wrong charge on the arrest warrant, right? Would that even be an issue? So I'm going to show it to you right now, and you let me know if you think the FBI just stupidly put the wrong charge on there. I believe it's, let me see which one it is, just so I can show you. All right, found it. So this is the one. Where is it at? Now I can't find it. I don't know. I'm having a boomer moment. Nope. It's funny. I just had it. Now it just disappeared. Oh, there it is. All right, here it is. My boo wrong. Okay. So what this is, let me blow it up so you guys can see it. So what this is, I've taken both the arrest warrant and the indictment. Now you guys should see the arrest warrant is simply that, right? It's really coming from the information from the indictment. So here's the indictment, as we saw before, signed by the foreman and everything. The charge on the indictment is 18 USC 1029A2. The charge on the warrant, as you can see here, is 18 USC 29A1. So, and even on the bottom of the warrant. So these charges, so this indictment and this warrant are for two separate charges. Are you guys following me? The indictment that leads to the warrant are for two separate charges. So I don't know why the FBI did this, but this person wasn't indicted on this charge. They were indicted on a different charge. Question came forward. Of course, he'll claim that he didn't know she died, right? So the FBI's reasoning could believe that's true. But again, it's a lower standard. Just let me read you. Joseph says, of course, he'll claim that he did that. He didn't know she died, right? So the FBI has reason to believe that he knew. Reasonable people believe he knew she died. No, yeah, that's what that's what I say. I didn't know she was dead. And I got this. So blah, blah, blah. Yes. Exactly. Joseph is right. That's what his defense is going to be. I agree with you 110%, Joseph. Let me get back to this piece of it. So it seems like the FBI and trying to and maybe rushing this. Now this is the reason why I think they deleted their post yesterday, because even here, so at first when I saw this, I'm like, okay, so they put the wrong charge on the arrest warrant. You know, it's possible, right? It's possible. It's like, all right, so you put the wrong charge on the arrest warrant. So what? But now let's look at the differences in the charge that's on the arrest warrant versus the charge that's on the indictment, right? I hope you guys are enjoying this, because I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. So let's look at the charge on the, so I actually, because I'm Nate DeLorean, and I do this for a living, right? I'm looking at this craziness. Let's pull up the charge, right? Let's pull up the charge and we'll look at them all together to see if there's anything here. So here are the charges. 18 USC section 129, fraud and other related activity. So now this is going to be a little weird, but A1, that's what the indictment is for. The indictment is for A2, but the arrest warrant's for A1. So A1 says knowingly and with intent to defraud produces, uses, traffics one or more counterfeit access devices. So when you click counterfeit access devices, this is really if you fake something. So if he took the bank card and faked it and wrote his name on it, you forged it or altered it in some way, we would be talking about this one particularly, A1, right? This is forging something. But they're talking about, now look at A2. A2 says knowingly and with intent to defraud traffics in one or more or uses one or more unauthorized access devices during a 1-year period. By such conduct obtains anything of value aggregated to $1,000 or more during that period. That's exactly what the indictment says, right? Literally the indictment says that. But the arrest warrant says A1. So for some reason, something happened where the FBI, or they took the indictment, read the charge off the indictment, and then put the wrong charge on the arrest warrant. They put one instead of two. Now, what does that matter? I don't know. I'm assuming yesterday, a lot of people were talking about the FBI. You know, the FBI field office, they put up the indictment, the arrest warrant, and a statement. And then they took it all down. And then next thing they know, they took down the indictment and just put up the arrest warrant and the statement. Because I think if somebody saw, like, oh my God, we put the wrong damn charge on the arrest warrant. But then they put the arrest warrant up with the wrong charge. So I don't know, but I just think it's interesting to see that sloppy work by the FBI, right? You literally just transposing these numbers from document to document and they messed up. So what's that going to mean? I don't know. I think you still probably have a good arrest warrant. I think, it's just maybe a clerical thing, or maybe not. Maybe it gives his lawyer something to push back on, saying, hey, the arrest warrant is no good. It's for a damn different charge. You know what I'm saying? They indicted him for unauthorized use of her bank card, and but the arrest warrant says forgery. It's a totally different charge. So couldn't they just arrest him in jail? Yeah, that's it. Then don't let his defense lawyer hear this. Well, this is what it is. So it's pretty messy, but I don't know. I don't know why the FBI, listen, everybody. People make mistakes, right? People make mistakes. So it happens. But I would think that such a big case like this, these type of mistakes wouldn't happen, right? You won't want to make these type of mistakes on this type of case, especially knowing that everything that's going on, knowing so many eyes are looking at it. So it says, Nate the lawyer, do you think they changed the arrest warrant by now? Everything I've seen, they haven't changed the arrest warrant. It's still up there. It's literally the same thing. So the arrest warrant, I'm not sure if the arrest warrant is honestly even valid, to be honest with you, because there's no probable. Think about this. You need probable cause, right, for that charge, and they have the wrong charge. So they don't have that arrest warrant doesn't have any probable cause. He's not being alleged to have committed that crime that's on the arrest warrant. He's been indicted for another crime. It's like, think about this, like me being indicted for armed robbery, but their arrest warrant is for murdering someone in Uzbekistan or something like that. It's like, well, yeah, but the arrest warrant, there's no indictment for that arrest warrant. It's nothing there, right, for that charge. It's something for a totally different charge. And I think the FBI has been having, like, you've had all these other things that happen with the FBI, but I don't know. It's just, what the hell? I don't know what the hell's going on. So that's that piece of it. So I don't know. What do you guys think about the arrest warrant? Do you think the FBI needs a huge overhaul? Do you think this problem would even matter? Do you think this is even going to matter in the long run? The fact that the arrest warrant and the indictment are different. The fact that there's no probable cause for the charge. And do you think they're going to correct it? Why did they let this person go? Some people are asking, well, let's think about this. He could have been under surveillance. I think the police could have done that, but he didn't commit any crime. They didn't even know Gabby was dead when he came back, right? They thought he could have just left her out there. And if let's say that was the case. Let's say if the case was he had left her out in the park and just drove home, and she was out there in the park alone. Well, he didn't kill her. And so you can't assume that he killed her. And God forbid you do all this stuff. Then you can talk about spending millions of dollars because you violated this person's rights. So you have to have some type of probable cause. And this is the probable cause they have. I'm thinking, again, 100% speculation time. I'm thinking the FBI, they were like, shit, we believe this person killed this woman. But now how do we get him at least into the system so we can start really investigating and don't let this guy just go to ground and run away? Well, here's a quick charge that we know that it seems like she died, on Monday. I'm making that day up, on Monday, from the autopsy. The autopsy says she had to be dead by a certain day, and he was spending her money after that. So that's where you have, well, would a reasonable person think that he's spending a money from someone, because obviously they think he killed her, that she's dead. So she couldn't have given the permission to use it. She happened not to be dead, and that's why they charged him with this crime. But I don't know why they put the wrong charge on the thing. So it is what it is. Sorry, I'm trying to get to all the questions. They're coming in faster. There could be probable cause if the autopsy showed that she was dead for a certain amount of time. Yes, blah, blah, blah. The video where you saw a person in the field with, yeah, it's possible. But, there's ways of determining cause of death. Body temperature, the rigor mortis, that type of thing. So they know what they're doing. But I think I don't know. I'm kind of weirded out by the sloppiness of the FBI's work. I'm just not gonna pretend, because I would suspect that they would at least think about how easy this was. Like, really think about how easy this was just to put the right charge on the arrest warrant. Somebody messed up on the FBI, and I'm thinking that's the reason why they removed it so fast. Here it is again. Here's the indictment. He's been indicted on this count 1. And even on the bottom, violation, they got, 1009A2, and the arrest warrant is 1009A1, signed by the judge. So it's a, I I understand the rush to probably try to get an indictment out, but I think you have to do a better job than this. We pay them to do a better job than this, right? We pay them to do a better job than this. So, it is what it is. The FBI, there's an arrest warrant out there for Brian Laundrie that has the wrong charge. Nobody else is going to tell you this, right? No one else is going to say this to you. No one else is going to say this to you. No one else is going to be reporting this. Why? Because no one else has looked at this, right? I've just shown you the clear evidence. And that's the reason why most of you are on this channel. Most of the reasons why you come here is because when I say I found something, I did the research, I looked into it, and I'll show you exactly what I found. That's what it is. Now you can go look at it yourself. Don't trust me. All the documents are out there. They have the wrong charge on the arrest warrant. I don't know how else to put it. Is it possible he has been charged with both? It is possible. Maybe he forged the document. Maybe he forged it. But let's look at the indictment, because the indictment, just so we can be clear, the indictment has all the charges, right? So let's look at the indictment. Let's pull it back up. This is no hide the football here. Let's look at the indictment. The indictment itself clearly shows everything he's being charged with, and it's supposed to just be 1-to-1, right? Here's the charges, here's the indictment. Indictment, here's the indictment. Let's look at it together. I mean, not the indictment, that's the arrest warrant. Let's look at the indictment and we'll see it. Let's see if he's charged. Let's see what he's charged with, because the indictment would have all the charges on it. If he's indicted with multiple things, it would be there. Let's see it. Sorry about the mistake before. Indictment. Let's look at it. Boom. So here it is, True Bell. So he's indicted for one charge. Sorry if you guys can see this. Make sure you guys can see this on screen too. So just so you guys can see it, it's one charge, right? Count one. And on the bottom, one count. And they got section C, but section C is about penalties. So it's not. Here it is, one count. That's it. They put the wrong count. I'm sorry. If I was his lawyer, I would say this arrest warrant is invalid. They didn't have any probable cause for it, right? It's the wrong charge. My client didn't do that. He didn't alter anything. They've got no evidence that he altered anything. He used the card unauthorized, but it is what it is. So, now, but what does this mean in the long run? It's a clerical error? Are they going to have to redo it? What does this mean? I don't know, because I don't work for the feds. I've never worked for the feds. Usually for us, it's like, oh, you made a clerical error, you make the new error, you get the new one. But some places are sticklers, and they'll say, well, no, if it's a warrant for the wrong charge, then obviously you didn't have a warrant, so he shouldn't have been arrested. But I assume they'll arrest him and they'll take it, because he has been indicted for something. So, but we'll see. Damn, they better fix that. I want no, but just, and before I go, this is what us lawyers do, right? If I'm your attorney, I'm looking for these mistakes, right? And if any of you have been arrested, are going to be arrested, if you have an attorney, your attorney's supposed to be doing what I just did, looking for those mistakes, looking to say, hey, my client wasn't indicted on this, right? The indictment's for a whole different charge. This arrest warrant is bogus. I want to quash the arrest warrant. I want to do this. Because that's how you do. You fight the process. So I don't know. Now, let me know what you feel in the comment section. Do you feel the FBI dropped another ball, right? It's like, boom, right? It's like you put the wrong charge. I'm assuming they can fix it. I'm assuming they can go back to the judge and say, hey, we put the wrong charge on it. We was indicted for this, but we put this, and we can just, have the judge re-sign it. All well and good. I'm assuming that's what they're going to do. But I think the problem is that we pay them not to make these issues. That's what I'm saying. I'm assuming they should just reissue the arrest warrant. Maybe they haven't even noticed it yet, though, right? Maybe they haven't even noticed it yet. So, but that just shows you the little things that we as lawyers go through this to try to figure out, how to get our clients off. Sometimes it's not just saying he's innocent. It's about saying, hey, they messed up the process. So, if anything, we'll see what happens. So listen, thanks guys for watching. I know this is a quick video going over arrest warrants. I thought this might be boring, but I thought it was just interesting to see, number one, what they used for the arrest warrant, what the arrest warrant actually said, and the fact that they actually goofed the arrest warrant, because the arrest warrant is just for a charge that he wasn't even charged with. So we'll see. 20 years in the wilderness, huh? Well, listen, thanks everybody for coming. I will see you next time. And if anything, don't forget to catch us on Locals with me and Eric. We got our show No Holds Barred, and we got a couple other things coming up. So hopefully you will be interested. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'll see you next time. Peace.